All right, so for my historical aviation person that I had to research, I chose Gladys O'Donnell. And just for some background on her, she was born in 1904 in California. She grew up in poverty with six other siblings. She only had a high school education, and then she passed away in 1973 at age 69 due to cancer. Starting out with her interest in aviation, Gladys she was afraid of flying, but after Gladys Livingston Berry, she married her husband Lloyd O'Donnell. Um, he was a car salesman, and he also flew airplanes for his own enjoyment. And um, also, he decided to make his career after they got married and had their two children. And he started this O'Donnell School of Flying in Long Beach. And after Gladys saw him flying so much and seeing Charles Lindbergh cross the Atlantic, it kind of helped ease her fear, and it actually increased her fondness of the aviation world, and she even decided that she wanted to become a pilot herself. So in 1929, she soloed with 10 hours and then became the first licensed female pilot in Long Beach, California when she was 25. And she had her husband help teach her how to fly, and then after a while, she got a new instructor. Then as for her aviation career, some of her accomplishments were that she started going into racing. So she got second place in the very first women's air derby of 1929 that went from Santa Monica, California to Cleveland, Ohio, with only 40 hours of flight time. The next year at that same race, she won, and she also had other strong performances in past Cleveland races. In 1930, she also won the Pacific Women's Air Derby in Long Beach, California, flying to Chicago, flying a red and yellow Waco taper wing, which is the picture on the left, at around 150 miles per hour. She continued to race for a few years and became more and more popular as she continued to place towards the top and started getting her name out there. And so for Gladys O'Donnell, she was also involved in the 99s Club, which was the organization of women aviators, and she was an original member of the 99s. On December 14th, 1929, she became the governor of the Southwest section of the club and served this position for 2 years. Then from the term from 1933 to 1935, she served as the international vice president and was on the executive committee, and was also became the air marking chairman. And she was also the chairman for the LA chapter. So she definitely served a lot of roles for the 99s. And then just in general, for some other accomplishments that she made, she became very involved in politics while also flying and stayed active with her party all the way until she passed away. She served on the Republican National Program Committee in 1937 and had an office in Washington, D.C. when she was elected the president of the National Federation of Republican Women, which was one of the higher positions that you could get at the time for women. She was the co-owner of the O'Donnell Oil Company, and she was also a flight instructor during World War II, and she was also the first woman to fly in a movie. And then finally, I have my sources, and the very first one, Heroines of the Sky, is my book.